Great to talk to you.
You too.
I wanted to ask you about sort of coming up with the idea for this script. Was it based on any family relationships, any real life experiences that you had, or completely fictional?
Well, I think it was inspired by my own cultural experience. I grew up, my parents are Palestinian Jordanian, and they immigrated to the US right before I was born. So I was born here and grew up in the US, but went back to Jordan almost every summer of my life. So, the irony was that I was considered the Arab in the US and the American in the Arab world. And my first film looks at that first cultural experience of being Arab in the US. And so I wanted to look at that reverse experience of being considered the American in the Arab world. So that's kind of how it's inspired by my own life and my own kind of upbringing, traveling to Jordan. I was also, at the time that I was really thinking about kind of exploring that terrain, I was really seeing a trend of reverse migration of immigrants who, after spending 3 decades in their adopted country, decided to return home, and then would find themselves at various levels of discord with their home culture, and kind of discover that they belong nowhere after being away for so long. And I found that really interesting and wanted to look into that as well. Acting and directing was definitely a big challenge, and probably the biggest challenge that I've taken on up until this point in my career. I felt that I needed to take on the title role. I didn't at first feel that I needed to take it on, nor did I at first want to take it on, actually. I did not write the role for myself, so it wasn't something that was planned. And the way that it happened was that I spent about a year working with my New York-based casting director looking for someone to play the part. And after a year of searching, I came up short. I wasn't finding someone who really authentically kind of embodied the spirit of the character. And it was very specific what I was looking for, and I knew that I would spot it as soon as I saw it. And at the same time that I was searching, I kept having people say to me, you should consider yourself for this part. Like, why haven't you thought of this? Like, you should really, maybe you should play this part. And, the first time they said it, I just thought, like, that's crazy. I don't, I'm not going to put myself in my own film like that. So I was very resistant to the idea. But it kept coming up, and it kept coming up in various ways through different people. And it came up enough times that I just thought, okay, I need to listen to this. Like, I think I'm meant to listen to this because it's come up enough times that I'm now, sort of feeling like I'm meant to do this. And so the tide started to turn, and I started to really feel like, okay, I think this is a part of my journey of, my journey of being a storyteller, my journey of being a filmmaker. And I think I maybe am meant to do this. And so I very, very hesitantly put myself on tape, and that was how it started. I watched myself back, which was a very strange experience. But when I had to really, when it came down to being very honest with myself, I did see something that I had been looking for in myself. And I was really surprised by that. I was very surprised by that. So I called myself back, very hesitantly, and I worked with myself just to see what would happen. And it was really surprising that what I saw on camera was very different than what I had expected to see. So that was kind of how that came about. One of the things that I discovered that was very cool was that I could direct the other actors from inside a scene. Mm-hmm. So, for example, when I wasn't on camera, but I was in the scene, I was able to give the actor on camera something that they didn't expect from the character that would get them to react in the way that I wanted them to, or get them to, you know what I mean? So it was a really that was really cool. That made me feel like, as a director, I had even more control from within the scene to literally kind of give them
and shape
exactly
it the direction you wanted to go in.
And shape it in that way without even needing to communicate to them any direction. I just did it from character to character. That was a really cool discovery. And when I discovered that, I just thought, oh my God, that's amazing.
Did the other actors realize that was happening, or was it sometimes happening without their knowledge?
I think both.
Okay.
I think it happened without their knowledge. And I do think that they also sometimes realized what I was doing, and they were like, okay, I see. And that was interesting for them.
I love Bill Pullman.
I do too.
He's one of the great actors.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
And a fun guy to talk to. Tell me about casting him and your experience working with him as an actor and director.
I mean, Bill was amazing, and I have to say, I'm so grateful that he was adventurous enough to take on this part. He read the script and he really responded to the script and the role, and he really wanted to come to Jordan, and it was really amazing. He got there and just absolutely immersed himself in the culture. He was making friends everywhere. I mean, he was having dinners with people he just met, and he just really, really took it all in a way, soaked it all in a way that was really admirable, and in a way that I think people really respected and were kind of grateful for. And he also was he's the kind of guy who just within a day of shooting knew everyone's names. He'd come to set with ice cream for everyone. I mean, he really is that incredibly lovable guy that he is in so many of the movies that we see. So I just got really lucky. I mean, he was also terrific to work with as an actor. I mean, just absolutely stellar. And it was intimidating for me.
Of course.
To work with, someone who I'd grown up watching. Right. And he just made me feel at ease, absolutely, absolutely comfortable and at ease. So I, again, just so grateful to him for that. And again, I got lucky because, a less generous actor might have not given me that. That was definitely a gift.